So we're here today on a roasting hot day at Mount Panorama, Bathurst, New South Wales, with Guy Smith, Le Mans winner, the longest serving Bentley boy, past or present, and he's going to talk us around the GT3 Continental and give us a bit of an idea of what it's like to drive, how it compares to the prototypes that he used to rate for Bentley, and particularly the differences between this and the road cars that other people might go out and drive. So guys, it kind of looks like a Continental GT that somebody can go out and drive, but it's clearly a very, very different machine. Can you just talk us through the highlights, how you turn the road car into this racing car?
Well, first of all, you can see you've got the same V8 engine that's in the road car, so exactly the same. In fact, this engine is slightly detuned from the road car, so the road car's actually got more power than the race car, which is for regulations for the racing. Also, you can see that the engine here is much lower, much further back than the road car, and that's really just for the weight distribution to make the car.
So what do you do with the gearbox?
That's now at the back.
Okay.
That's been moved to the back.
Yeah.
So as you can see, it's packaged very, very tightly in there, but it's all about getting the weight down and making the car get that sort of the weight down to, low to the ground. So
sure.
Yeah, it's pretty. You can see the chassis though. The chassis is the original car, built-in crew, delivered to M Sport, and then the car is then kind of modified. We've got carbon fiber body panels. We've got doors carbon fiber. Everything's super lightweight. So compared to the road car, which is probably about 2,500, 2,600 kilograms, the race car is down at 1,300. So quite a weight saving from the road car.
So amazing. So you've lost well over a ton of weight.
Well over a ton of weight. So the main way we do that is basically, as I said, with the lightweight carbon panels. We get rid of all the luxuries that you'd expect in the Bentley, all the leather, the wood, the electronics, all the electronics that go in a road car. Strip them all out, and it's probably the most basic, most simple, most uncomfortable Bentley ever made. But it performs very, very well. I mean, the door, for example, on the road cars probably around about 55 kilograms. We're probably down at 5-6 kilograms just in the door alone.
Okay, so you say 50 kilos in one door.
Yeah.
Just the doors are 100 kilos away out of the car.
Huge saving. So,
and I can imagine something like the seat. You take a big Bentley chair with all the electrics and the heating and the massage.
No massage seat.
Yeah. That's a shame.
I know, no massage. We've got a few pads, and that's about as fancy as it gets. No stereo, no sat nav, none of the luxuries you would expect.
And the only way, I guess, to go back into it is roll cages and fire extinguishers and... Exactly.
We still have things like air conditioning, which we carry here for Mount Panorama because it's so warm, the radio, and fire extinguisher, things like that. But apart from that, it's pretty much a stripped down race car. We've got a few luxuries which I can show you inside the car, which you would expect from a Bentley. If we look inside the car, you can see it's fairly sparse in there, but we've got the nice little things like we've got a little leather, thing to close the door. We've got some Bentley door handles, a door. We've got some paddles off. I think it's off a Mulsanne or maybe a GT, and some nice little touches there. But you can tell very much it's Bentley DNA. That the dash and everything else. When you sit in the car, you definitely know you're in a Bentley. It's got presence. It's got style. But yeah, it's a thoroughbred race car.
Fantastic. Okay, Guy, I can see from the shape of the dash, you've still got the kind of original shape of the interior of the Bentley there, but that steering wheel doesn't look like anyone I've seen on any Bentley before. Can you just talk us through what's on the steering wheel and how, when you're racing this thing, you can work out what's where, and is it all fairly straightforward and conventional, or does it take a bit of learning? Well, obviously, Andrew, there's a lot of switches and dials on the steering wheel, but really it's for the ergonomics. So when we're driving the car, obviously we're going speeds of about 280k, so we want everything close at hand. We've got the pit speed, so when we come in the pits, we press the button, car's at 60 kilometers an hour. We've got flash for the lights, which is very important when we're going through traffic, get the lights flashing. We've got the radio, so we can talk to the pits and they can talk to us while we're going around the lap. We've got indicators, again, just to signal if we need to on the track. We've got a drinks button, so again we can actually drink. We can drink water while we're driving, pumps into our mouth, keeps us hydrated throughout the race. Yeah.
And then these coloured dials here are various different things. We've obviously got ABS, so we can adjust the amount of ABS activity. The traction control, so again to help the car on the exit of the corner, more or less assist. Engine map, so again depending on performance, if we qualify we may run in map 1, and various settings for the race. And then obviously this is for the different settings for the dashboard. So we've got the dashboard here with these lights here, which are our shift lights, which tell us, when to change gear. And then obviously we've got the paddles, change gear up and down for the gears. So yeah, it's nice. We've got everything here at hand. Everything's close to us, and we can see everything. And then looking down here to my left, we've got a panel here, which is basically things like the stop button. We've got the fuel reset, which we reset during a pit stop, and various sort of trips and other buttons for lights and things like that. So they're the sort of lesser important things when you're driving, but maybe more important when you're in a pit stop. And that's pretty much it. We've got buttons here for it's where the radio plugs in and the drink system plugs in. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. We've also got a pipe somewhere here, which is basically this plugs into the helmet and just blowing cool air into the helmet. So trying to keep us as cool as possible in this heat.
So Guy, you've been racing Bentleys, I think, longer than anybody else, dead or alive, past or present. You first started racing Bentleys back in 2001 when you joined the original Le Mans program. You had to sit out 2002, but your prize was to come back in 2003 when you won the race. I'm sure your memories of that are still very vivid. This is obviously a road car-based GT3 car. Is there any comparison to make between a modern GT3 car and what is now a 14-year-old P1 prototype racing car?
Well, it's still fantastic to get to drive the LMP car. I managed to drive it just before Christmas, and what an awesome car. But I have to say, these modern GT3 cars, they provide a lot of downforce and they're real race cars. So, these are still exciting to drive. They're not quite as much fun as a prototype. They're always going to be special. But, they're like little Formula 1 cars. But the GT3 cars are fantastic to drive, and the Bentley Continental GT3 is a lot of fun. So yeah, really enjoying it.
And last question, a quick word about this circuit. I've never been here before. I had a quick run round earlier today. It looks ridiculous, even from the passenger seat of a slow-moving road car. From where you're going to be sitting in this car in the race, I can't even imagine what that's going to be like. Just tell us a bit about your thoughts of the circuit.
Well, it's a great circuit. I think every driver has Bathurst on the bucket list. It's one of the best circuits without doubt in the world. It's kind of like a mini Nodge-like, it's kind of got the undulations, the hills, it's high speed, long straights. So it's got a bit of everything. So I think, we all love to come and drive here, and the race itself is always fantastic. So we're looking for a good race tomorrow, and excited for what it may bring.
Brilliant. Thank you, mate.
Okay, thanks.
Really appreciate it.